Hey guys, I'm Thomas Leroy here. Standing around waiting on coffee, waiting on the sun. And I'll tell you, it seems like things have only just begun. And I'm just rhyming for no reason. Like I said, I'm waiting on coffee. Um, I've not been able to quantify the changes and the transformations as of yet. And that's okay, because that means we've been remaining in a constant state of flux, basically, figuratively speaking, in as much as we continue to improve and upgrade and advance, which is the plan of heaven, and they have continued to advance us and upgrade us, all that good stuff. Hold on. You know, I heard somebody saying the other day, 2025, being a year 9, of course, was about endings, about things being concluded. And I guess that's what we've been doing, is wrapping that up finally after these decades of this shenanigans. It seems like, from what I've been picking up, what I can gather, again, all I have is this show that's going on about me. People do this, they go here, back and forth, they plan things, they try things. I sense these things, and then I get feedback from the show. And I will tell you, as soon as the call came yesterday to go out, I knew what was coming. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the word had come down. They got their stuff together, and they weren't happy. And they were planning stuff. But you see, heaven defeats my enemies for me. And heaven has defeated the plans against me. Heaven has defeated my enemies. They've won the war for me. That means it doesn't matter what they plan. That's going to be defeated, because it's already done. So we're ending that, and we're moving on. That's the new book. See, the new book is about my being day without the other. Day on the left and day on the right. Day without the evil, darkness, shadow, or night. Without the other. Just day. And going on about our business, or rather I should say our Father's business, shouldn't I? Our Father in heaven. I just thought of that one young lady who I was tuning into recently. I found something attractive about their voice, or the way they were doing or saying something entertaining, in other words, amusing. And well, it's not important to reveal anything about them. Or, well, you know what? This is what gets me. Well, no, I guess there's no reason to cover that. I guess I should cover all that stuff one last time, and maybe writing or something, maybe a final video on it. That's what I'll do regarding that. Hold on a minute, I'm gonna get coffee. I was only gone just long enough to go pour coffee and mix it up and everything. And by the time I unpause this, it looks like there's been a lot more light. Like I told you, I was waiting on the sun. It is officially just 4 minutes away. But it is finally starting to look like it's day. I'm telling you, I heard, like I was telling you about that one, I heard them, I think it was, talking about how it just seems like it's too dark too long. And I was thinking, well, okay, either you're directly tapping into those thoughts, or you're just picking them up, aren't you? Hold on. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. Yes, I made myself a treat with this black coffee. Although I have been going back to black coffee just recently without any trouble. But this one, I made it like it was some kind of a Starbucks frappe latte treat or something. I take a scoop of homemade ice cream and put in it. Excuse me. Which, of course, make sure it's creamy and it's been slightly sweetened and foamy on top, like people like. I've noticed my voice is becoming more stabilized again. Whereas, one day it'd be whatever it was, and 2 days later it'd be like, no, it's not that anymore. It is becoming more stabilized, and I'm starting to find my range, I think, again, perhaps. That might be good, because once I do, I'll be able to practice. So what happened yesterday? Well, I saw a report yesterday about how you finally done it, or this, or that, and they were talking about, basically, it was a 10th Avenue freeze out, as the boss might have said back in the days he was the boss. I didn't really, was aware, but what I was more aware of than anything was the fact that there was a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't me or on me or with me anymore, and it was about 3 inches off of my vessel, burning like crazy. But I'm just guessing that's what it was, because there was an outside edge I could feel where everything was like very active, very, very, very active. And you know how they'll touch you and you'll feel that little warmth hit you, like you just got hit by a fiery dart. Well, I was feeling as though there was a whole lot of that stuff going on yesterday, like thousands of little touches all over the place where they were trying to get through, to get in. And but I prayed about it a little bit, and we went on. But I think I was starting to warm slightly, or at least warm up some yesterday. I was busy doing chores and this, so I wasn't praying every 15 minutes. and that continued on, and I think maybe they were coding or something, but I thought maybe they were starting to develop a bit of a presence. And that's when I got the news that we were going out, and we had errands to run and places to go, etc. And I knew then that their plan was in motion. So I went ahead and prayed about it some more. And of course, all that stuff they'd been trying to put on or get in or whatever, that all was eliminated again very quickly. It takes a couple, 2-3 minutes maybe at the most, maybe only 30 seconds. Depends. Or even less. I've had instantaneous healings in the past at the by the name of Christ. So we got cleaned up again, and we went out, and we were going down the highway, and sure enough, here comes some fat boy who had a lot of fire to share. And hey, Bob, if we've made you angry some way, remember, we didn't make you angry. That's just your anger. That's a symptom of something that lives with you, that you are abiding. You're thinking it's your friend or something, and all it means is your eventual death, your inevitable death, for as long as you hold on to it and validate it, and the more it will grow and grow in strength with you. Finally, it'll take over Just the same as like if you were inviting in the Prince of Peace all the time and the light and all this goodness, eventually it kind of takes over and you're just riding along now, kind of like me. They're starting, it's really, the Federation is taking control, I do believe. That's a reference to the 2112 album. At the end of the concert, they blinded the audience with light, informing everyone that the Federation is taking control. Bum 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 ba-dum bum ba-dum bum bum bum. Hold on. So anyway, fat boy with the beard was just wailing on us, I guess, because I could feel a bunch of heat come on around, and I was thinking, tisk tisk, that's going to cost you greatly later, and it shall. Whoever he was, that he'll be beaten down for that. He'll be disconnected and beaten down by heaven for that. That all comes back to him as something else, just that much worse. And it's to educate them once again, your anger is your problem. Fix it. Let it go. Renounce it. Or go down with it. Whichever you choose, I suppose. Do you love your anger? Because it don't love you, but it's wanting to keep you. So anyway, we prayed about it, and we went on. And by the time we got to our destination, all those fires were, I think, pretty much all but gone. Or at least mostly. They were going out. And then there was a black guy that showed up, and there was another guy that showed up, and they were like, real sus. And I don't know why, but something about the black guy was just making me laugh. I don't know. I was just smiling so much inside about it. Because it was like, oh, you're a clown, aren't you? You're not who you are. You're wearing that Negro suit, but that ain't who you are, is it? Who are you? That's what I was seeing. And then there was the old guy who was trying to connect on, but that wasn't going to work for him. And then the black boy, I think it was from the inside of the place, because he'd looked 2 or 3 times, I guess, trying to do his targeting. But you know what? I could feel it coming in, and I was like, no. I was like, heaven, blah, 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 Lord, thank you, da, 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 or whatever, I can't even remember what I said. And it was dissipated, and it went away. And then we got back into the neighborhood. We came back up the highway, and there were no attacks on the way back. And of course, by the time we got here, all fires were gone. There was no heat. We were just fine. We're just white man. Cool, calm, full of peace and good light and goodness and good stuff too. Collected together, like in a manner of speaking, figuratively speaking. And as we pulled in to the shopping area, then there was another one. And they showed up, and they came, and they had intention. And I looked at them in the mirror, and I saw them, and they knew that they were screwing up right then and there. And they were. All they were doing was like, you might as well say, I am in need of a horsewhipping, Thomas. I'd like to get something going that I'll remember for a long while, because of how painful it was and how much loss I experienced. It's as though, I'll put it to you like this. In the prison yard, kids, it's not going to be you that wins. This is the wrong deal for you. This is light. They were talking about this yesterday, that we were hitting a point of definition, I suppose it was. And that's what was going on. That's what has happened. We've been defined. We're not on your team. We're not on Team Darkness. We don't have any arrangements with Team Darkness. We don't have any love for anyone that's on Team Darkness. There's no spiritual, no soul connections or heart connections or cords of any sort between me and anything of darkness. It's all been erased, burned away. And of course, everything of light has replaced everything of darkness here. And all those colors of darkness and fire have been replaced by white, which is right. It's correct. It's white power. White power. That's what I never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that I would ever raise my fist up in victory saying, right, white is right. White power. White power. But in a spiritual sense, it most certainly is. And as you can tell, I am still upright. They keep me upright. And full of good cheer. That the light has increased in me again, I do believe. And I've been made brighter. And I'm very grateful for that. Very, very grateful for more light. And for these good energies. They say my wings are growing, and that soon I'll not be able to deny them, because they'll just start flapping and I'll lift off and I'll never touch the ground or anything else ever again, probably. There's perches up there somewhere where you can rest, I know. I've been there. I used to live there. I'm from there. And I know what wickedness in high places is all about. We're not going to be wicked. I guarantee you that. Absolutely. Hold on. So, as we pulled into the lot, I could feel them trying. Okay, more of you people, huh? So I guess maybe, the strategy was, okay, we're going to load him up with all this stuff, which would make him more vulnerable. Then whenever they take off, we'll come in and we'll just completely cream him by throwing all this giant clouds of trash all on him and around him, which will erode everything and make it a lot weaker. So by the time that the black boy shows up there in Ashland, they'll be able to drill through and get a place in, and by the time they get back to the neighborhood, and all their plans were foiled. Their plans were defeated. Heaven has defeated their plans, defeated their mechanisms, because they had to. That's how they defeat their plans. And we're continuing on in this new book where we've left all these of the past that have troubled us and were betrayed us and were disloyal and against us, against our success and victory. We're leaving them all behind in the old book, that book of conflict and turmoil, where it was all about power and no one evolving, is apparently, but which is a sad book. But I said very early on, I said you can't let things degenerate down into a power play, because if you do, then at that point you see there's no conversation. No one's compromising on anything in particular. No one's mind is expanding. No one is expanding in any way. They're just accept the ways they think they need to, and I explained to them that's not what you needed. But it's the same as in a divorce. Who is it? Whom would you say would be the winner in a divorce? And if you said it was the one that got this, or the one that got that, or the one that got the kids, or the one that got the house, or the one that this or that, then you're wrong. Hold on. I went and got more coffee, and on the way back I was like, what the heck was I talking about? Because I started another conversation with me. And I know, it was something about the enemy and old advice that they never took, and it doesn't matter. So I believe things are getting better, because whenever those people showed up, every time, it was ineffective, and they're unable to attach anything to us, and we're being made without them. And all the enemy actually has been eliminated from me. And I've been eliminated from the enemy. So we don't share any time, space, or energy. And there's no connections between us, and the doors have been closed between me and them. So there is no way any of them of the darkness can claim me as anything. They can't claim that they have a contract with me, because I haven't contracted with them on anything. They can't claim I have an agreement. They can't claim I'm in love with them, or that they're in love with me. They can't claim that we're married or that we're partnered in any way. It's impossible for the darkness to partner me. It's still illegal, just like everything else that they've done. A lot of people have gone on about you know, and again, if it's all just a game and a movie, it's better. We enjoy this show better because we do feel better, and we're feeling better overall. But and I tell you the truth, I can quantify that. I can say there's several symptoms that we're experiencing that is, you know, where things have been improved. And we're not so bothered. You know what I'm saying? Again, if your skin is thick, then a lot of this stuff is just like, nah, what? Did you hear something? You feel something? No? Because that's... Now, we're talking yesterday. I know those kids were just trying. And they were completely ineffective. And very soon now, when they try, they won't want to try. They won't try because as we continue on, it will come to a point where if you're like that and you even get near us within, like, you know, a stone's throw or maybe even just the distance of sight, that won't be a thing that's going to be allowed, really, and it'll be rendered completely ineffective before it ever got close to me. I know that's what's going to happen. So I feel good about where God's going to be taking us. I love heaven. I love them. I love the God people. I've experienced them, and I've said it before. Once you've experienced it, kids, you're supposed to be smart like me. Regardless of how silly you are and how little you know and how naive you might be, how gullible you could be, how ignorant of the truth you might be. Okay, once you experience a truth, such as the light, God's love, God's unfailing, healing love raining upon you. Once you experience that, you're supposed to be smart enough to go, oh, that's where my bread is buttered. That's where home is. That's where I'm going. Unless you're really not from there. But see, to me, again, it was like a salmon catching a scent of the home pond or something. So, oh, that's right, I'm going home. That's where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? So I tried to explain to him years and years and years and years ago, I don't have any choice in this. The light is with me. I have no choice. I am that. It's like, who are you? Do you have an identity? Yeah, I was thinking about that, about the dark witch. They were saying that they don't feel like they have an identity. Yeah, you do. You do. What have you embraced? What have you taken on? Did you hate lots of people? Did you degrade them? Did you put them through things to mess up their head and screw up their reality? Or did you love the darkness? And it puts me in mind of that man who was challenging him whenever I was explaining that, you know, I need to get back upstairs. He was basically trying to let me know that, damned if you will, because he had fire in his DNA, whereas I have light in my DNA. So whenever you talk about identity, I can say, my name's Tom. I'm Tom Riley. Thomas Leroy. That's right. Eugene, as a matter of fact. That's right. It all has meaning. There's actually a story there within the name. I can say that. That's who I am. That story. But I do know the real identity is you're either light or you're dark. That's it. That's it, kids. That's the sad, sad truth of it. Or the happy truth, depending on how you look at it. Again, the devil is a liar. And they will lie to you and say you are you, and you are different, and you're an individual, and you are unique. There's nothing else like you ever, and there never could be. And that may very well be the truth, right? But then what are you going to do with that information? Maybe it is you're absolutely special. You're like a masterpiece made by the master himself. What are you going to embrace? Will you embrace these laws and tenets that they put down? Will you try to understand why they're there? Will you see the benefit in putting out good vibrations and always trying to be a good vibration and trying to be a place of water, of sustenance for others and all that kind of stuff, and believing that as a group and as a whole and as a community, we must all be doing exactly the same thing, taking care of each other in that emotional, psychological, spiritual fashion, so that everything's a good high vibration and everybody's bright and everything is going up. And yay! Or you can be that other, which is going down. To be with a whole bunch of people that hate and want things to go down, and they want to be mean to people. And so, well, I heard the other day something about how, and they'll never have anyone, or I don't know. Listen, if they don't actually like love, whenever they hate love, I'm thinking that of course they're going to be able to find someone to be with. Someone who probably hates love also. But they will find a practical arrangement of some sort, I'm sure. Some contractual, transactional type of relationship. Which is what I've been seeing as what modern women is all about anyway. So I can't, I guess I'm mentioning this is because they were saying, you don't feel this about them. And I'm like, no, I don't. And then others are saying, you shouldn't. And I'm like, well, I don't. And the truth of the matter is anyone who's in a bad place, suffering, normally I would stop and go, oh, I need to help them. I need to do this, that, or another. But my training has been that you don't do that. I stopped and gave a $1 to a guy the other day, and I was like saying to myself and prayed later, this doesn't constitute a contract, because you know how some of them are. Yeah, well, I do have to say thank you to the dark side for educating me and for my teaching me that it is good for me to circumcise myself, or rather my heart, perhaps, but certainly to turn back the empathy all the way, dial that all the way back down to 0, and the compassion I've dialed way back too. And of course, it's out of a need for self-preservation. So what you've done is you've taught me that there are some people you just can't love. You can't love them. And it's because, this is what I'm getting. This is what I can discern. Is that because they're as an alien. I heard the other day, they were, the things that they say, like, you're talking about a severe case of narcissism, where they're in a psychotic delusion, which is somewhat, which is something that a narcissist who is in deep into that will have to manufacture at points in time to keep the fabric of their reality going, they'll come. And I saw this the other day. I was tuning into some of it, and I was like, oh my gosh, the lying, the incredible lying, the complete total denial of all that is real regarding any of this situation, and they just blow it off and act like, it's it's amazing to me, because as far as I can tell, it is like a different species. They don't have any love in them, or if they did, it's probably something they got from us. They were still acting like a child before the first of the year. So is their master, which that Nathan guy and all versions of him, he's not getting what he wants. Not at all. He's not going to be getting what he wants at all. That's his future. Is you're not getting what you want. That's his future. You're not getting what you want. No, not at all. Or if you do, it's going to cost you enormous amounts, just enormous, and there will be no real satisfaction in it. If anything, you'll just end up disgusted. But hold on. But then we're talking about the enemy again. I know they're all their plots and plans is all gone. You see, again, that was their fantasy. And one of the lines, one of the titles I have is Mr. Fantasy. And their fantasy was provided. And for an extended period of time, way beyond what they were supposed to get. So I will expect payment for that, and gratitude too, because you did get the rule, didn't you? But no more of that. We've got to move on and be happy. So we're going to be moving into this new book, and we're saying goodbye to the past. And no, we're not doing that vengeance thing. They keep on saying, "Oh, you've done this and that." I'm like, "What are you talking about? They're the enemy. They're the enemy of God. I'm not going to coddle them. I'm not swapping spit with them. We're not bedding down with them. They're the enemies of God. They're the enemies of heaven. They're the enemy." So do I have to worry about vengeance? No, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. Remember, it's His. It's all His. I'll let the Lord take care of that. Because, see, I'm not really feeling vengeful myself anyway. I do know, though, that I would have all the enemy now pay us back for everything that we've lost over the last 20 years. That's what I'd have. All the good stuff that I've lost, I come up losing all that stuff, and everything fell away, and all that stuff that was broken, these things that were damaged, and all that. I'd have all that back. All the good stuff that was lost, I'd have all that. Anything that was valuable, I'd have that back. And I expect them to make sure that I do get it back. That's just and as fair as anything could ever be, without it turning into some horrible deal. But from what I understand, I'm supposed to be getting paid back 7 times, or up to 7 times that, and double for my trouble, especially on the money in the rope department, all that stuff. So, well, guys, I think we've done meandering along here, dropping the little gems, as they might call it. But yeah, we're just going to continue on up. We're going to continue on up. Heaven has us on a course up still. So we'll continue making headway that way. And we'll continue to improve and upgrade. What they're doing, again, of course, as you well know, is making us impervious to all things of the darkness. The great white city that's impregnable by anything of the darkness. Something like that, figuratively speaking, or poetically speaking. But yeah, we're coming to that point where it won't matter what they do and whether or not they're across the road or laying on top of me. They won't be able to put anything on us. They won't be able to get anything to stick, and certainly not anything will be getting in. Because why? Well, they're not day, for one. See, we're all day here without the other. So we're going to continue on in that fashion. continue to improve and upgrade, getting back to our higher perch. We're Highlanders perch. There can be only one. What? I can't. It's been like 20 years since I've seen that movie. I can't do the accent anymore. It's so peculiar. I need to see it again. Just that part. It's been a long, strange trip, hasn't it? Very weird journey. The last 20 years has been so extremely hostile. I know that no one involved or even interested for that matter, is buying this story that they've been selling. The enemy has been selling this story that, oh, we're in love, or we're together, or we're happy with each other, we're the same, or any of that. They're not going to be able to sell that anymore. All that's coming down. That's all going to pieces. The story of what it was, and the entrapment, the capture, the kidnapping, the bombing and contamination, to lower and tear everything down and cause us to be red like dead, like them, was just their plan to keep everybody at bay. And no, I say, white people, save me from the black ones. Oh, blue skies, loving on me. And the birds started singing. I love the birds. One of his best creations. I love the God. The good God. Who created heaven and earth. Him who's all light without any darkness within him. That's the God for me. And I love the light. And I love the God people. They make me good. I love all of heaven. Because all of heaven's good. That's for sure. And I'm very glad that we're on our way back up. And that we're going to be doing better. And I've been looking at a couple things. And, well, there's been a strange deal show up here or there that seemed promising, and you know what? I'm believing that it is going to get like that, and that it'll be like you fell into this money here, and these people came over here, and oh, whoops! Look, you got a whole bunch of money that I've seen movies like that where these, remember that Jim Carrey movie? Hey, Jim. It's been a long time since we watched Jim, but it was all about a series of unfortunate events. Well, you know what? It's just like my friends who have great smiles and are sunny and stuff. No, a trip, a story, a movie can be all about a series of really fantastic, miraculous events occurring. Like, you could say at the end of it, well, no one's that lucky. Well, no one is that lucky. But there are ones that are just that blessed, where you can't kill them. And you want to know why? Because the God that loves them doesn't want to have to go through the trouble of resurrecting them. So it's easier to make sure that whatever's after them fails. There's been times where I've like, man, I should have been dead. Several times throughout my life where I was like, that should have taken me out. But it didn't. And that's because they can't kill me. Apparently he has a good mission for me. And I love it. And I love him for the fact that I couldn't give up. Because there were many times where because he was like, and you never give up. I'm like, it's not for the fact that I didn't want to give up a few times. It's just that you can't really give up. I mean, that's if you're me, if you're one of mine, you can't really. I mean, you can give up for a little while. You lay around licking your wounds and stuff. But I mean, if you start getting stronger again and stuff, dust all this stuff off. Yeah. cleaned up. Get back to work again. God love you. God keep you. We'll be talking to you soon. We'll be looking at you and smiling at you going, yeah. Thanks so very much. We love you.